Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Refried Friday, Volume 2 of the re-edition brought back season. Refried Friday. Thank you all for joining me. We have absolutely plenty of stuff to go over thanks to yesterday's video, which seems to have divided a ton of people. Very, very simply. So far, dislikes has not overtaken likes, and in my opinion, if you've been watching me for a while, you know my favorite place to be on YouTube as a platform in regards to likes versus dislikes is right down in the middle. That's my absolute favorite place to be. Hello, Nathan Mans. We got YouTube members out there in the chat. Thank you very much. PSA alert, jam or jelly, let there be chaos. Why not both? You put jam on toast, you put jelly on sandwiches. It's that simple. London boy. Thank you for the super chat. All right, so my favorite thing about this is my goal on YouTube, for those of you who don't know, for some of you who are new, for some of you who don't know me very well, my goal is not to make videos that everyone likes. My viewpoint is not to appeal to the most common one. My goal is not to get everybody to like me, which may be fairly refreshing here on YouTube because that seems to be a lot of people's standpoint, is they want everybody to like them. With me, though, my goal is to start a discussion, engage people in a debate. And that's usually when you get dislikes and likes tied. That's my goal. I want that like-dislike ratio split down the middle. That's what I've been doing ever since I started in the attic. And I've moved up, and I'm still doing it. And we have plenty of comments, primarily about the ever-so-bent iPad Pros, mostly from yesterday's video. That's the majority of some of these comments. Some of them are a little bit different. I picked a few comments that were a little bit different. But for the most part, we're talking about the bent iPads because it seems that we've gotten everyone split in between, down the middle, about whether or not this is a serious issue, and then whether or not you paid attention to my video. That seems to be the two sides of the coin. Because the majority of these comments that I go through are all people saying the exact same thing. That's hilarious to me, because I said the exact same thing in the video. But people aren't spending too much time watching the video. They're spending too much time in the comments section, making up their own narrative and pretending I said things that I've never even said. So, regardless, here we go. We're moving in to Refried Friday with the comments. We got a super chat from Thomas Gaming, who says, I'm hopefully getting an iPhone XR upgrading from a 5. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I hope it goes well. I hope you enjoy the phone. Rockford Tech also super chatted. Hey, Drew, it's 6 months since I started YouTube and completed my 30th iPhone 8 fix. Yay. Also, can I have mod? I'm good with the mods for now, Rockford Tech. Thank you, though. Thank you for the super chat. Will there be a FPT and Tailosive collab? There have been. If you check back, you can find them. Thank you for the message, and thank you for being a YouTube member, MCS Tech HD. Really appreciate that. Okay, can we get on to the comments? And this first one was really, really creative, and I just wanted to broadcast it to you guys because I want you guys to know how much I appreciate people who put this much thought and this much attention into the comments that they put in beneath my videos. It's just really well thought out, and I appreciate people who do things like this because it makes me think, okay, some people out there, they actually care. Some people want to engage in a discussion. So I appreciate that. Vinish replied, "You are an idiot." I like this because he didn't use the cliche smile emoji. He used the basic one because he was like, I want him to know that I'm smiling, but I'm not blushing. Okay, that's different. That's a different discussion. Hey, Viper's in the chat. Thank you for joining. What did he say? What's up, Drew? Welcome to Friday. Hey, Viper. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for the super chat. It means a lot. Appreciate it. London Boy says, don't think it's a major issue until 70% are bent. 70% would warrant an absolute recall. I agree. But at this point, we don't have numbers on it. And based upon how it's taken this long for people to start noticing, I'm imagining it's not a huge number of people that have reported this issue. As far as we know, it's incredibly low numbers that are actually affected. But it hasn't been a huge reported issue. There hasn't been a huge number of returns. It's not an extremely noticeable issue, which is why in my book, it's not major. Is it an issue? Yes. Should Apple fix it? Yes. Was Apple right to say that this is normal? No, absolutely not. They should fix it. I'm saying this again because it seems like a ton of people out there missed that part of my video. And they think that I'm bowing down to Apple the whole time and saying, Apple's great. Apple's wonderful. In the exact video, I say Apple was stupid to do this. Apple was wrong to say it's normal, and they absolutely need to fix it. But we ignore that part of it. Okay. Car and Tech Fanboy says, what is your favorite iPhone all time besides 10? The 10s Max. There you go. Anywho's, thank you for the super chat, Kieran Dial, and I appreciate all the donations, and I appreciate the members who we have here. But we also got to move on to the comments. So, anyway, you're an idiot. Moving on. Oh. See, okay, we got more of them. Thank you, Kamal, for also chiming in. Very, very insightful comment. I appreciate this because you can tell he put some thought into it. Like, a lot of comments just say, you are a idiot, which bothers me because it's supposed to be an idiot with an N. But that's okay. It's the YouTube comment section. We can't expect too much. Rockford Tet super chatted. Will you live stream on the 25th? Probably not, because that's Christmas Day. I'll likely be with my family. London Boy super chatted says, it's normal to have a bent device, just not in 2018. No, it's not normal in regards to the people who are buying iPad Pros. Most of them are not bent. So I can't even think you can make the argument that it is normal. But Apple's saying some of them might have that. And I'm saying if you are bothered by that, and it takes you over 2 weeks to notice, I don't think it's that major of an issue if it takes you that long to pick it up. The device works completely fine. All of the features are still there, and you have to close one eye and hold it perpendicular to your face to notice the issue. Is it one? Yes. Should it be fixed? Yes. Is Apple wrong to say that it's normal? Absolutely. But is it a major flaw? Should you stop buying iPad Pros because of this? I don't think so. I completely recommend it. Okay, moving on. This one's kind of small, so let's see if I can zoom in here. So Mohammed says, you're pathetic. You claim Apple is all about quality and wanting the best from Apple, but you always try and back it up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. I try to back up my claims. I should stop that. Samsung's hardware is way above Apple's, which I find funny given Samsung in this situation, if we're comparing the iPad situation to Samsung's ultimate quality control. Apple has never had a major recall, primarily because of devices catching on fire. If you're going to cite a source, I'll give it to you, like find something that has a more reliable track record. Not Samsung, though. That's a pretty bad example. I would not cite someone who literally released a phone that you couldn't take on airplanes. Every airliner had to announce to their passengers that you can't have a Note 7 on this plane. So if you're going to cite a source and say, look, this company's way better than Apple at quality control, please cue me in. I would love to hear it, but Samsung's a terrible example, okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm wearing my merch, and yours too. Just got the new one, by the way. Thank you, Rockford Tech. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for supporting me with the merch. Glad you guys like Teespring. What are you doing for Xmas Day? Asks MCS Tech HD. I'm gonna be with the family. Nothing too special. We've got family traditions. We're gonna stick to it. Car and Tech Fanboy super chatted. Give my video about kids driving a shout out, please. I don't give shout outs for every single super chat, but there you go. It's in the chat. Okay, moving on. That guy. Okay, so this one was not on the iPad video, by the way. That guy that doesn't like curved displays, but wears an Apple Watch that has a curved display. Typical fanboy. So I thought this one was funny. A comment from Anita, because I was complaining about some of the curved displays on the Galaxy S9 and how it kind of distorts the image, and he must have taken that as curved corner. Or wait, no, this was before the Series 4. Does he think that the Apple Watch has a curved display? Wait, I guess typical fanboy, right? Welcome to Flight 617 to Las Vegas. Can the guy with the Note 7 please vacate the plane, please? Yeah, Samsung, chief of hardware quality control. By the way, that Note 7 might be dangerous, but don't worry, we fixed it. Here, have this safe one. This Note 7 won't light up. Actually, it might. Can we get that back? I just realized. We told you that we made sure that no more Note 7s would catch on fire. We actually did nothing. So I'll take that back. I'll take that back. I like just citing Samsung. Okay, Master Pole says, if Samsung made a tablet like this, you'd be all over it. Which I think is interesting, because when he said this, at first I was like, okay, if Samsung started shipping tablets that were slightly bent, would I get really uppity about it? Or would I make a video out of it because simply not that many people buy Samsung tablets? And on top of that, Samsung hasn't made a tablet like this. A tablet with 120 hertz ProMotion display, Face ID with biometrics this reliable, these two different size options, with a CPU as powerful as the A12X chip, with an actual optimized software and hardware experience that together, you don't have to turn the iPad into a laptop to get a decent experience out of it, with an app store as diverse and as optimized as the iOS App Store compared to Android in Samsung DeX. No, I don't think I would be that interested if some Tab S4 is reported to be bent, because we barely talk about the Tab S4. When it came out, I gave you my impressions and said, Snapdragon 835? Okay. I'm not that interested. And honestly, if Samsung had the same problem these iPads were having, you'd never hear about it. Because not that many people buy these things. Oh, God. You know DxOMark scores aren't reliable, right? Yes, I am aware of that. DxOMark is not had very consistent scores, and they change the numbers around all the time. Compared to the iPad Pro, the Tab S4 is a 1950s VW Beetle. Yeah, I would still gladly take a slightly bent iPad Pro over a completely straight Tab S4 because I couldn't do the things I do with my iPad on the Tab S4. It's literally not possible. All I'm saying is that a design defect that requires one eye closed and you to hold it perpendicularly to see is not that major. Should be fixed, yes. Apple was stupid, as I said in my video, to say that it was normal. Absolutely. They should fix it. But is it major? Should you not buy an iPad over this problem? No. Don't be afraid of iPad Pros. Just because a couple have reported to come out bent does not mean that every single one comes out of the box bent. It's different. Anime World commented, I almost feel bad for you being forced to defend this for your fellow iSheeps. It's funny because a lot of people anticipate that because I'm defending Apple, it means that I'm being forced to against my will. When in reality, being not owned by a studio and not having to worry about sponsors to uphold and being completely independent and not having to worry about this kind of thing, I'm actually proud at the fact that I don't care about dislikes. I'm absolutely proud that I can just take a stance on something, understand in my head, not a lot of people are going to like this. I'm going to make a statement that a lot of people are going to be annoyed by, but because I'm independently owned and I don't have to worry about shareholders or stockholders or producers or someone else in charge, I can just say it. And then we can engage in a conversation about it. So I'm not forced to do anything. That's kind of the beauty of YouTube, and that's one reason I didn't pursue film school and I did pursue YouTube, was because I wanted complete control over what I make. So that's why you can count on, one thing you can count on with Tailosive Tech is the fact that whatever I say, that's absolutely my opinion. That's absolutely what I believe. I do not defend Apple all the time. There's plenty of time, including this. I did not defend Apple. But because people want to formulate their own narrative, they will make it seem like I'm completely excusing the fact that you can buy a bent iPad, when in reality, I'm saying, no, it's not okay. It's not major because it's very hard to notice. And if it does bother you, you can get a replacement. It's very simple. Is because you don't have to worry about me trying to cater to Apple pays me nothing. It's not iSheeps I have to uphold. It's actually the haters, the people that can't stand me, or you'd be surprised how many people comment on my videos, this is why I unsubscribed from you, or this is why I stopped watching you. That's my favorite one. It's like, you had to click on this video to watch me. So you didn't stop watching me. You were just so upset at the idea that I had a counter argument that you had to click on it. And in return, I profited from that. So if anything, the haters and the disrespect is encouraging me to keep being as honest as I can be, knowingly going to upset a ton of people. And that doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. Dislikes have no effect on me. That doesn't make me depressed because I have a wife and I'm happy in my life. I'm happy that I'm living my dream. And we're all arguing about glass and what companies make which glass and what companies make each piece of aluminum. So if I have an opinion on something, even an unpopular one, I'm going to share it. Because dislikes on a video don't bother me. I just want a discussion. So this is my favorite thing. Honestly, what do you want Apple to do in 2019 for the hardware and software? Make it better. I don't I don't have anything that specific, but just improve on it. Anywho. Oh, we got a big one here. Malcolm Black, I'm sorry, but if you are defending this, you shouldn't have complained about the Pixel 3 marks. Yes, you mentioned this in your video, but your argument is silly. The iPad is bending because of a useless design that Apple decided to do. Not quite useless. As I did mention in my video, the practicality of the iPad being as thin as possible is they know that over 90% of iPad users are putting them in a cover like this, or a keyboard case, or a third-party case of some kind, and trying to get it as portable and light as they can is one of the primary reasons people will go with an iPad over a laptop, is the portability factor. That's not some design choice. What some design choice, which has no functional features, is the Pixel 3 back. They wanted it to be a matte finished, and it ages horribly and scratches up very, very quickly for the sake of we want it to look like that. The iPad was not thin because they wanted it to look thin, although that may be part of it. It does aesthetically look very nice for the majority of people who buy them, who have it perfectly straight. But Apple understands almost everyone is going to be using this thing with a third-party accessory, and making it as thin and light as possible is very important. That's the primary reason that a lot of people go with Apple. Super chat from Llama Pajama Music says, love your videos, sometimes more than Netflix. So here's my 2 cents back. Wow. Sometimes more than Netflix. I couldn't say that about any YouTuber. Netflix is amazing. Tammy says, hi. Thank you for thank you for being a YouTube member. Very easy to see. Sorry, let's keep going. Make the iPad sub 6 millimeters thick. No one needed this. Everyone is fine with 7 millimeter phones, so a tablet can be at least 7 millimeters. I'd say 8 to 9 millimeters would be fine for a tablet. But no, they decided to go for 5.7 millimeters or whatever the thickness is. Again, the reason was for transportation purposes. That's one of the primary advantages of an iPad over a laptop. Moreover, you cannot easily unbend the iPad, but you can wipe off the marks on the Pixel. Oh, if only. If only you could wipe them off. I tried to wipe them off myself on the black Pixel 3. And if you could wipe off the marks so easily, why didn't Marquez wipe them off in his review? It's because some of the marks, some of the more light, gentle marks can be removed on the Pixel 3. Other ones can't. Regardless, this is something, if you do get affected by the iPad Pro bending thing, and you notice that, it's immediately there out of the box, and you can instantly replace it, whereas the Pixel 3 design choice is something that compoundedly gets worse over time, and it also affects every Pixel 3 of that color. It affects all of them. We have no idea how many iPad Pros are being affected by this issue, but I will tell you what we do know. We do know there hasn't been a large increase in the number of people returning their iPad Pros, meaning that it's not a huge noticeable problem because people aren't returning them. It's not big enough for people to complain about it so that it's more returned than any other iPad. By the way, thicker iPads in the past have bent. Large slabs of aluminum, yes, over time, they do bend. It absolutely happens. Don't act like it's only been a problem on this iPad Pro. Because over time, you can forcibly get an iPad Pro to bend. But as far as we've seen, you can ask Louis Rossman, fluxion-based damage has not been a reported widespread issue on iPad Pros, as in touch disease, similar to the iPhone 6. Let's see. I have the iPad Pro 10.5-inch from last year. Is there any real reason to upgrade to the new one? It's completely subjective. If it has features like Face ID or a faster chip or something, or you like the thinner bezel design, if it has something that you appreciate, then sure, it could be worth it. But to a lot of people, probably not. 10.5-inch iPad Pro, I'm sure, would be fine for many years to come. I'm sure it'll age just fine. Okay. No, in Louis Rossman's video about me, he talks specifically about how this has not ever been a problem with iPads, and it probably never will be. And that's because iPads aren't used in the same way that phones are. That would cause fluxion-based damage. That doesn't happen with iPads. I have traveled with my iPad Pro to and from work. Anyway. And the issue with the Pixel isn't a manufacturing issue, but a design issue, unlike Apple. Apple always likes to say how good they are with manufacturing, yet they can't make a straight iPad. This is just factually incorrect, which I also think is a huge overreaction if you consider the fact that if a couple iPads out of millions sold, if a couple of them are reported bent, therefore they're all bent. There's no way that there's a straight iPad. Doesn't matter that I showed one in my video. It doesn't matter that the majority of people buying iPad Pros don't have bent iPad Pros. It's affecting an incredibly small percent of the release, yet to everyone else, it's all of them. If there's a problem on one, it's a problem on all of them, which is just hyping it up to something that I don't think exists. It would be like me saying that anyone with a Note 7 had their Note 7 explode. All the Note 7s caught on fire. Every single 100% of them. That's not true. A very small percentage of them. But the difference with the Note 7 and it being recalled was it was harming people. Pay attention to that earlier commenter who was saying that Samsung's better at hardware design. To be honest, Apple want the iPad to be premium and portable as possible, but Google Pixel looks like it was made by a startup company, not a billion-dollar company. Yeah, that is kind of funny. Tammy says, it says really something that Apple is letting a product less than perfect come out of the factory. Apple is known for perfection, and they raise the bar themselves. I personally disagree with the fact that they're known for perfection. Just look at the notch. Just look at the lightning port, the asymmetricality on the 10. Just look at the Apple Cinema display. This is a prime example. The fact that I can't just plug in a standard cable. I have to find some weird adapter on Amazon so I could. This is from Steve Jobs' era. Perfection doesn't exist, people. It's funny that I see that word thrown around here so often. I don't think there's such thing as a perfect product. There could be like a perfect product for you. It's like works for me perfectly. But I would never say that all Apple products are known for absolute perfection and that they never make mistakes. I don't think that exists. Everyone makes mistakes. It's just some companies make more than others. And that's how we decipher good from bad companies. Of course Apple makes mistakes. Of course Apple's not perfect. Steve Jobs said that himself. But everyone always says, like, Apple always says they're perfect and that they never make mistakes. That's not true. And also, this is not... everyone keeps acting like this is happening to every single iPad. It isn't. As far as we know, the fact that it's taken over 6 weeks for this to be reported should show that it's not that many. It's likely less than 1%. If it's taken this long to be brought to issue. Or how about that HomePod? Apple's not known for perfection. They're known for making quality experiences. And I still think even if your iPad Pro is slightly bent, we have not seen one bent in half. We have not seen one come out of the box looking like a piece of cardboard. You have to pull out a ruler, close one eye, hold it this way in order to see the imperfection. And once again, if that bothers you, return it. You have that option. Those were intentional designs. There's still compromises. Apple's never been first, but they're trying to be the best. The best is subjective. I don't think you can just objectively say Apple makes the best products. I think you could say, like, for you. For me, like, best products, Apple makes the best products for me. And I've had quality experiences with them. And I'd say the majority of people with iPads have quality experiences with them. Don't let, like, 3 use cases destroy your vision of a product. Zoom. Next comment. Danny B says, I'm usually on your side, Drew, but not today. You're saying that if you unbox your iPad and it's a little bent, then it's okay? Once again, not even paying attention to my whole point of the video. I'm saying, no, it's not okay. It should be fixed. I'm just saying this is not a massive issue. But okay, put words in my mouth. You can still use it, and it doesn't affect functionality. After paying more than $1,000, I want my device to be perfect. I'd be pretty pissed if this happens to me. And like I said, you have every right to be. If you expect absolute perfection, 99,000 times you're going to get it out of 100,000. Or out of 99,999 times you're going to get a perfectly straight, capable iPad. But because a couple were reported bent, now that's all of them. And then somehow he turned my video, which was bashing Apple, calling Apple stupid, he turned that into, so you're saying it's okay. It's like, no. When did I say it was okay? When did I say this is normal? Or that Apple shouldn't do anything about it? Where are these words coming from? It's like people see the title and they see the thumbnail and then they're like, that's it. I'm going to just comment on that. I'm not even going to listen to the guy. And yes, I repeated myself several times in the video because the majority of people, like Danny B and the 14 people that liked his comments, still aren't getting it. They still don't hear me. They can't. Okay, so this one was a reply, which I thought was funny. Lenworth Thomas says, it's a normal thing that happens with large pieces of metal that are cooled like that. A lot of laptop screens have the same small curve. Okay, so apparently this is not the first time. This has happened in the cooling process. And then J.L. Johnson said, yes, a curve, not a bend. Can someone explain to me the difference between a curve and a bend? Because I'm a little lost on that one. No company has ever had a perfect product. If it possible, we would only have one device for the rest of our lives because it would be perfect. Yeah, it's funny to me that like whenever we find an issue with Apple products, it has to turn into, okay, it affected this number of devices and it didn't affect the functionality, but because of this, Apple's completely screwed. I hate all Apple products. Don't buy any of their products because a couple of issues have been reported. But we're expecting perfection because it's expensive, which, by the way, I also don't agree with. If you buy a mansion, you don't think that there's like one door on that thing that might touch the tile a little bit too soon. If you spend like $800, $1,000 a month on rent, you don't think there's going to be any problems with your apartment? There were some people like that are like, I wouldn't even pay that much for rent. And I was like, you don't think... So you think like that's going to give you a perfect experience because it's expensive. That's never been true. That's never been a thing. Since you have live streams again, did YouTube change their algorithm? I don't know, Jason. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the growth at this point. All I'm saying is I like live streams. I enjoy live streaming on YouTube. I want you guys to know that we go live on Twitch much more often. If you enjoy live content, that link is in the description. And Refried Friday, I think, is a fun, consistent way for us to talk about things that are available on the rest of the Taylosub network. I want to bring stuff like that up to you. But there's his comment if you couldn't see it. A curve, not a bend. Is my dad helping me in the chat? Bend like a river, curve like a road. Rivers and road, but is this a reference, Dad? Are you quoting a song or something? I do live stream more. I live stream almost every single day on Twitch, so make sure you download it. The link is in the description. You're following me there. Sometimes Twitch notifications don't always work, so make sure you're following me on Twitter as well, at Taylosub Tech. So live streaming right now, it could hurt my channel. I don't know, but I enjoy it. So I don't care. I'll take the hit. I'll take the hit in growth, whatever. What do you think about the Pixel 3? Eddie, you should watch my 30-minute video about it. I talk plenty about it. Twitter's life. 3 Pharaoh's Towers says, sorry, not sorry that I demand perfection from Apple when the iPad Pro start at over $800. That's more than I would pay for rent or mortgage lease on a single apartment. And that's with accommodations. Where's this guy living? He's got some sweet deals. Pharaoh's Towers. That's more than I would pay for rent or more. You would not pay $800 a month for... I mean, I want to know where that is. Those are some good deals on apartments. Seriously, you could build a base 4K gaming rig for at least $800. And the meme stays alive. Ladies and gentlemen, just build a gaming PC. It always comes back. That's my favorite tech meme we've developed so far. Just build a gaming PC. There won't be any flawed experiences with it. Like, guys, listen. There is no such thing as a perfect product. Throwing more money at something does not ensure perfection on anything. I bought an iPad and it bent when I sat on it. Now it has a curve. You're confusing me, Dad. I don't get it. Just build a gaming PC. Is that not a fair point, though? Build the PC. My funniest thing about the build the PC meme is that we've had people in the chat ask us, primarily on Twitch, if you feel like your comment's not getting read, I encourage you to go to Twitch. The live streams are much smaller. You got a better chance of your comment getting read. And also, there's free ways to support me over there. Like, if you have Amazon Prime, you can link it with your Twitch account, subscribe to my Twitch with Twitch Prime for free, but it helps me out, supports me, and costs you nothing. Seriously, a PC. Windows is the worst of all OSs. Again, based on experiences, subjective. But my point is, someone out there is looking for an iPad because, one, they want like a touchscreen device. They want something that's well optimized with iOS. They want it to work with their phone, and they want it to be portable. That's why they're looking at an iPad. They want to look at something that can easily tuck in their bag, maybe take it to school, maybe work on presentations, maybe use the stylus so that they can draw or do handwritten notes and stuff like that and do some text typing. Someone sees that request. Someone's out there looking for an iPad. And then someone's counter argument is, why don't you just build a gaming PC? Which is simply a giant tower that can't move anywhere and is only good at playing video games and running Microsoft Edge or Chrome. And you're saying that these markets have so much in common. Like an iPad Pro, 120 hertz display. That's nothing compared to what you can get for a 4K gaming rig that's under $800. Those are the same markets. All the things you want to do with that iPad, you could do the same things with your gaming PC. No. Those aren't same markets. You could, and that got 20 likes. That's what's kind of sad to me. 20 likes on someone's like, yeah, everyone out there wants like a thin and light product that they can take with them to college and do drawing on. Why don't they just buy a gaming PC so that they can play Overwatch and Call of Duty at 4K? Those are the same market. Stop going to college. Don't leave your room. Don't want to take a product with you. You want a mobile product? Screw that. Buy something that's going to glow at night when you're trying to sleep and turn on in the middle of the night because there's updates to install. Just get that. I don't understand why anyone would buy an iPad. Just buy a gaming PC. And then the meme escalates further. It just keeps going. Get a tower with a handle on it. Steve Jobs would approve. Yes, that's right. And then Fox Rock says, best suggestion on a beginner Mac experience for someone on a budget. Build a gaming PC. Someone's like, I'm looking for a smartwatch. I want something that like can help me manage my notifications. I can partner with my phone. Maybe do some activity tracking on it. See if I can track my calories and make sure I stand up throughout the day. Why don't you just play video games all day with a gaming PC? God, I don't understand you. Why don't you just build a gaming PC? Why don't you just order a bunch of parts and spend 2 hours out of your day trying to get Windows 10 to boot up correctly? I don't understand why you want to watch. Yeah, my grandma's not doing very well. She has heart problems, and we're trying to save up for the money. Why don't you just build a gaming PC? Why talk to grandma when you can play games on a PC? Just do that instead. Or get a Soldier watch. Just build a gaming PC. Yeah, I want a new pair of headphones that's like no wire, and it automatically pairs to my phone, and I can put them in my ears, and they just start working. Or a PC. Why not? Do you realize that this is a big problem? If your iPad bent out of the box, you would understand. If my iPad bent out of the box and it was significant enough that I would notice it, I would make a video about it, just like I had problems with my Apple Pencil and brought it up several times on both live streams and this. I had complaints about the new generation Apple Pencil and its pairing process. So I shared that online with the internet. Are you guys trying to say I'm biased towards Apple or something? Are you saying I'm biased? Not a statement. Lol. What would you suggest? The Mac Mini's great. We're running this live stream off the Mac Mini right now, and I haven't had to use my 5K iMac anymore because the Mac Mini's been perfectly fine. Have you tried Sprite Cranberry? They are not available in the UK. I haven't tried a Sprite Cranberry, but you shouldn't buy it. You should just buy a gaming PC. Just get one instead. Oh, that's interesting. Michael says, is The Verge messing up again? Turns out Apple never said iPads bending were normal. The Verge was misinformed. Uh-oh. That's not good. Are you trying to say that I'm an Apple sheep? Who on earth would call me an Apple sheep? I guess myself. Okay, Cade Ellsworth says, nope, you are a sheep. Stop defending them. Hold them accountable. Again, in what part of this video did I say that this is okay? Or did I defend Apple? I defended my product and my experience for saying that if you would like a new iPad Pro, I think you should get one. I think you're going to have an enjoyable experience. The chances of you buying an iPad Pro and getting it bent out of the box are incredibly slim. And for all the advantages the iPad Pro has, it's worth it. I think it's worth the money, absolutely. There is a small chance that there could be a design flaw that is noticeable when closing one eye and holding it perpendicular to your face. It does not change the functionality of the product. You can still look at the product with both eyes and enjoy its beauty, and most people are putting a cover on that. But yes, congratulations. You have identified that the Apple sheep is indeed a sheep. Intelligent. 17 likes on that one. Alex Gallagher says, so when you put it on a table, it's okay if it's going to rock back and forth? You guys seemed very okay with that with the Pixel phones because they got camera bumps. They rock back and forth. And also, majority of people aren't using it to rock back and forth. In fact, without disconnecting my iPad, if I lay this, there's a camera bump on the iPad anyway, but if I lay this on a table here, actually it doesn't rock at all. I thought that the camera bump would make it rock. It's not rocking. Okay, so never mind. It would be okay if it rocked back and forth because probably people are going to put it in this, but actually doesn't. And the majority of bent ones are incredibly small. So please. If you can transfer the logic to a bad example, most of the time the point is fallacious. Okay. Bending iPads in boxes, but you made a rant about how Pixel gets scratches and how Google should recall it. It wasn't out of the scratches, period. The Pixel had problem after problem after problem after problem that was consistently showing up on and the scratches on the back, that the marks that couldn't go away, was showing up on every Pixel 3 black color. The iPad Pros are not bending on every single model and configuration. We don't have any numbers to confirm this. And now it sounds like Apple never even made the statement that it was normal. That looks like it's not. Verge made it up. People put cases on their phones too. That was everyone's counter argument for when I complained about the scratches. A Mac is a computer that you don't build. Apple does all that for you, and certainly no one refers to it as a gaming PC, and a Hackintosh is not even close. Hackintosh is a completely different discussion. Do you think the 6T is better than the Pixel? Absolutely. The Pixel 3 was overheating, shutting down, wasn't charging when on the Pixel stand, and there was the double notch issue showing up on people's phones. There was no repair program in place for the Pixel 3. If you broke it, you were just screwed. Just get a D brand. Flex Tape and D brand need to partner up and make a D brand case. The Verge did an oopsie. They made up a headline, which is a little dangerous. Michael Frasca says, see, this is the reason why I stopped watching you, which is funny because he had to watch me to comment. You will do anything to make Apple look good even when they're in the wrong, after I called Apple stupid and said they were wrong to say the things that they said. You think it's not a big deal for the iPad Pro to be bending? So you think it's okay for people who spend their hard-earned money on a tablet for it to be bend in half like a notebook? We have not found a single use case of an average consumer having their iPad bend in their notebook, and now you're making up an instance that's never been reported by anyone and saying, so you're saying that's okay? I could make up stuff too, guys. Remember when there was that reported like Note 9 explosion, but there wasn't really any evidence for it? Imagine if I didn't make a huge video on that. Imagine if I said, so you're saying it's okay for you guys to spend $1,000 on a phone and have it blow up in your pocket? You'd be like, okay, we don't know. That's not true. That's not what happened. Neither is this. Okay? And I don't know why you think that way, but it's sad that you will defend them even when they're wrong. After I called them wrong and called them stupid, yeah, I'm of course defending them. And just out of curiosity, do you think Apple cares what you have to say or think about them? No, I don't think Apple's ever watched any of my videos. Once you give them your money, they could care less. They could care less. Yeah, I think most companies work that way. But so think logically and look at the average consumer's point of view. I am, as an average consumer. Not the views that's up Apple's butt, and anyone who spends $700 plus should be getting top-notch quality and no bending crap, as the majority of users have. Regardless. I also just don't think that if you spend that much money on a product, it should hurt you. The iPad didn't hurt anyone, luckily. I think I was able to bend my iPad back. Oh, nice, Tragic Toast. Nice. Llama Pajama Music says, love your videos, sometimes more than Netflix. Oh, sorry. Did I already read that? When did that show up? That's just getting delayed. Sorry. Some of my super chats aren't showing up immediately. Okay, just making sure I'm caught up on members and super chat. Okay, moving on. You never found an iPad bended in your backpack because they were not as thin and badly constructed as this, which is funny because in the past, iPads have bent much thicker than this. It's a rare issue, but it has happened. It's happened to people who pack them in luggage or backpacks too tightly with not any protection around it. And then he said, "Quite a bad argument. Why don't you do that with this one and then we talk?" Well, which is funny because I packed this on my honeymoon, which was in my suitcase, and it was also in backpacks, and I also take my iPad Pro to and from work. And guess what? Perfectly thin. Perfectly thin. If Apple didn't show an iPad with bend on the marketing, users would not be having this problem. What? Admit it, people are not getting what they paid for. They did not pay for a bent iPad. When have I said that? When have I disagreed with that? You can just make up your own arguments. You can make me look as stupid as you want. If you guys just pretend that I said things that I didn't say, then yeah, the arguments are much easier to have. It's like, you guys think it's okay that Note 7s explode. It's like, we didn't say that. Okay, I'm not saying that either. He's allowed to have his view. I agree. People go over the top with the hype. The media says my iPad Pro 12.9 is just fine. That's the thing. The majority of iPads are fine. If this was a massive issue, Apple would start a recall repair program. There has not been a drastic number of returns, meaning that even people with this problem don't even notice it. How can you call that a major design flaw? Or a manufacturing flaw if barely anyone's able to pick up on it? I have to show you the flaw that's maybe not even there. The problem, I would say, is people not listening. In fact, I'm actually very, very happy when I found out about this because this means that we get to make a video that separates people who subscribed really, but they don't really care that much. And this kind of separates the audiences that don't listen to me and just kind of make up stuff and hopefully gets them to unsubscribe. Believe it or not, I would like less subscribers if it means that they're smarter. People that are willing to hear an argument, hear an opinion, and stick with it. And be like, okay, well, I disagree with Drew. There's a lot of people who disagreed, but they were respectful about it. And people that at least were able to listen and understand where I was coming from. Saying, okay, Drew doesn't say that it's okay. Drew wants this issue to be fixed. He doesn't think it's right. There's even a part in the video where I specifically said, if you spend this much money on the iPad, it should not come bent out of the box. And then a billion people comment, Drew, how can you say that it's okay that people spend this much money that they get this out of the box? I'm like, how do you not hear me? How can you not hear me? Is it because I talk too fast? I could understand that. There's a lot of jump cuts. Sometimes it can get confusing. Hey, Drew, will you be live on Twitch later? Today, I will not, but make sure you're following Twitch. The link is in the description, and you're following that because I go live on there much more often, probably tomorrow. DJ Thornton super chatted. My 12.9 inch has been in my backpack and gig back ever since it has arrived and been thrown around and crashed on a boosted, and it is still fine. Well, good, DJ. Good. Which iPad Pro do you have? Do you have an older version or the newer version? Do you think your community that watches more quality and commenting when the channel was much smaller? No, the community has not changed with the size of the channel. A lot of people think that way. They think that when you get older, when you get bigger, then you get a more toxic fan base. There were just as many toxic people. I got just as many dislikes. In fact, I got way more dislikes when I was younger because there wasn't really that much of an audience built up. I just started saying whatever I was thinking, and people weren't okay with that. But yeah. Okay, so DJ has the new iPad Pro. He's saying he's using it regularly. He's got the 2018 12.9-inch iPad Pro, as do I, as does my friend Randy Vasquez. His is perfectly straight. And a lot of people, again, want to find a problem. It's just funny to me that it took 6 weeks. It took this long for people to start getting upset about this. It wasn't something straight out the door. Okay, so that wraps it up for this week's Refried Friday. So thank you guys very, very much for sticking around and for the super chats and for the YouTube members that have also continued supporting me. Really, really appreciate that. And what I also want to appreciate are the people that disagree but can hear my argument. They can be like, okay, I see what he's coming from, and I'm excited to engage in this discussion. MCS Tech HD, happy Christmas. Thank you for watching. And to the people who tuned in today, really, really appreciate it. Hope you're all having a happy, happy holidays. And remember, at the end of the day, as much as we argue about this, glass from companies is what we're arguing about. Okay? Regardless, functionally, everything about this works fine. We haven't had any functional problems. It's not changing the way people use the product. That's why I don't consider it major. Regardless, thank you guys for watching. Really, really appreciate you. This is your Apple sheep here. Wait, he's a sheep. And I'll see you in the next one. All right? Make sure you're following me on Twitch, guys. I'll post it in the chat for those who are interested. Make sure you just download the Twitch app. Make yourself a Twitch account. And, oh, that's right. I turned off my keyboard.